was watching all of the games from backstage, even gave a little advice, as we heard there from Sue to SOS, and was evidently enough to kick SOS into the next gear and propel him back in a 3-game comeback, which is difficult under any circumstance.
We asked for it, guys. Here is the voting. Who do you want to see take this third place victory? RedBull.com/battlegrounds. It looks like Scarlett's taken 2/3 of the vote.
Indeed. It's difficult to take a popularity vote against MC in any circumstance, but I think it's not even down to that. I think it's down to just the phenomenal play that Scarlett showed in the previous series. It's not even down to saying, oh yeah, you know, Scarlett's the more popular player. It's just, look, Scarlett is this good right now. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, absolutely top-notch. I think maybe after this weekend, people will hands down agree that Scarlett is the best non-Korean player on the planet. But with DreamHack right around the corner, Naniwa's got a chance to change our minds.
Yeah, you never count out a Sweden. So I've always said. And of course, Show has a fantastic group, so he'll be fine.
And let's not forget Elfie,
who just recently lost to a 15-year-old.
He's still the god of Protoss.
I will never get over your fandom of Elfie, yeah, I gotta say.
He's the best. He's the best. A little bit of the Stalker Scout here for MC, just kind of clearing up the Zelnaka Towers, wants to poke out Scarlett's eyes for the time being. Gas is going down for our Zerg players. Still no major tech down for MC, but we do see that +1 attack upgrade spending, which is often indicative of some desire to make gateway units.
Yeah, also not seeing any other gas going down for the Protoss player either.
So, will we see more gates going down?
Well, it is MC. That would certainly be a safe thing to assume here.
Instead, it's going to be a very fast third Nexus for MC. So he's going to be expanding rapidly. Layers on the way here for Scarlett as these Stalkers are going to come forward. We'll almost certainly get this Overlord. Might that Queen go down?
It's a possibility. If he focuses down correctly, the Queen will certainly take significant damage. He might want to try and kill drones, but I think killing the Queen here on that third is definitely a good option, but looks like it's not going to happen. Scarlett is trying to push it back. The second Queen comes in to support here as well. Great control here from Scarlett thus far, minimizing the damage of this small aggressive poke, but it's not over yet.
MC really wants this Queen. There's 14 slowlings about to hatch, 22 more on the way, and the Stalker's got to get surrounded. A nice pick off there for Scarlett.
Precise. Very, very nice. You're really losing like a drone and some lings. Not really too big a deal. Lair is about to complete here as well. Speed as well on the way. We're seeing a Twilight Council go down for the Protoss player right now. And is he still on 2 gas?
2 gas, 3
taking 2 more now. There we go.
Very delayed gas there for MC, doing everything he can to get that probe count up nice and high. 52 probes out on the map for our Protoss player on 3 bases.
Yeah.
Scarlett's doing something that we've become very accustomed to seeing. She's gone Hydra first, so it's going to be Hydra Ling, and I would wager that it's a safe bet to say she'll throw down a Spire soon.
Taking the 4th base, which on this map is pretty difficult to keep a hold on. You see Protoss players just spiking very quickly up to 3 bases, putting some cannons in, because like getting the surface area on that Nexus is incredibly hard to do. So with the cannons in place, it's relatively safe to deal with run-bys. It's a difficult ramp to fight up, but with the Hydralisks, as we saw in the game against SOS, it is possible to pop that Nexus, and you can do so efficiently.
Lings are going to have a hard time getting in with Zealots in a great position. That's phenomenal positioning there from MC, just making very sure that Lings can't get the easy surround on the Nexus. That Spire is building, but MC has got a lot. Oh, that's a hidden Spire.
I love that position of that Spire. I mean, there's no reason for MC to ever go up there, and you can use that Overlord to keep the creep spread alive as long as you like.
And but what we were saying prior, John, is that MC has done such a great job of chrono boosting probes. He's going to have incredible unit production at his fingertips. Blink is coming down. The Overseer sees this and the extra gateways.
+2 Blink, Stalker, massive attack on the way. Big timing, I think. With that many gateways coming out, you can do an awful lot with that. What's the Hydralisk count looking like at the moment? She's trying to work on muscular augments. It's almost done. +1 is almost done here as well.
Hydra count has only started to climb. There's 4 in production. Scarlett doesn't have to invest in mutas right away, and she might in fact choose just to make a ton of Hydralisks and Speedlings, and that will be pretty sufficient against this, the Gateway army. Hydras are phenomenal against Gateway balls. And oh no, 10 mutas are on the way. This could get very interesting very fast, as the mutas will not initially be very capable of fighting this gateway army.
I don't necessarily like this. With 7 gates backing this up and +2 about to complete, the aggression will begin. Hydras are great against gateway units, but +2 Blink Stalker with MC's control, that's kind of a different matter entirely. So I'm very concerned for Scarlett right now as this aggression begins.
Oh man, MC has always been one of the best Blink Stalker against Mutalisk players in the world, and already he's taken back a ton of map control, pushing Scarlett's Lings and Hydras across the map. Scarlett's going to have to rely on her mobility. She's been great with these mobile Muta Hydra Zergling armies all weekend long. But now she is up against one of the absolute best Blink Stalker players on the planet.
I like this play. Just trying to deal with the pylons to make sure that these waves of 7 Stalkers can't really come in at a rapid rate. And that's causing a warp prism to be produced here by MC. And an engagement attempt here is absolutely not going to work with force fields.
Yep, that's a cute little bit of control from MC, just blinking behind the force fields. And ensuring that any fight Scarlett does take would be not cost effective. But now the Lings are going to come in once more, and more good control from MC. Scarlett chooses once again not to fight.
Yeah, well, fighting there would be absolutely suicidal without a full Ling surround. Certainly not enough Hydralisks to make this work. The upgrades are very spread out. You've got +1 range here, which she's working on +1 air, and has only just started +1 melee. So it's kind of all over the place, and that makes things very awkward against a very focused army like this.
But what Scarlett has done very well is get that Muta count high. And these Stalkers are probably not enough to fight here, but with the reinforcements, they sure are. And Scarlett will disengage after picking off a few Stalkers. 22 Mutalisks remain at the same time. Zerglings and Hydras in the third base, and this will do some damage.
Oh, Warp Prism gets picked up as well. I mean, this is fantastic multitasking right here from Scarlett. Really, really good indeed. The Hydra support in the back is helping. It's not going to be enough to kill that base. But the Muta count didn't take too much damage. Her control was great. Look at that. She's sitting on 26 Mutalisks. She should have lost way more than that in theory, but if you notice, she was doing a fantastic stack and a clump with them, which meant that it was basically impossible to focus fire down a single Mutalisk.
And it's awesome the way Scarlett gets to this point in the game. It can be very difficult to acquire this kind of massive mutas, but now she's there, and we're going to see another big attack. Zerglings and mutas together attacking into the third base. Good blinks and force fields from MC, and with Photon overcharge, Scarlett is not going to want to stick around too much longer. But she will get this Colossus.
I'm dead. It's still not dead. She's trying to take it out, but the Blink Stalkers go underneath and do significant damage. That, I think, was a blunder. She didn't lose that many Mutalisks, though. Again, there's just a really impressive control. But still, that could have definitely been better, taking out the Colossus. She's still got 24 mutas. You know, you'd think she would lose more. Hello, goodbye.
Down goes Frazier as the Stalkers blink beneath these mutas. A lot of damage being dealt, but Scarlett's returning a great deal of fire. Man, that muta count has dropped to 17 from over 27. And now 22 again as Scarlett continues to commit all of her gas to Mutalisk production. The Stalker count is absurd right now, though, John. 33 Blink Stalkers out on the map. Scarlett has to rely on counter-attacking right now.
She's going for it, and she's deliberately taking cannon fire in order to make that happen. She's not actually microing the Mutalisk because she's under attack right now as well. She's willing to sack Mutalisk to take out the third base. She could have controlled that better, but with the amount of pressure she's under, you can't really blame her. She must do damage right now. She finds the Colossus. The Colossus will die very quickly. She's still taking cannon fire from the ground.
Base race engaged. Stalkers against mutas. You never really want a base race against mutas, but MC does have a pretty formidable count of units. All these Stalkers back at home are going to go down, and another bad luck Colossus pops out underneath those mutas. Every single probe in the natural is going to go down. Scarlett's trying to spine up, and this is exactly what she needs to do.
Good move. Very, very nice. A lot of players don't do it. They just commit completely to the base race, and that's the wrong call, especially with that many upgraded Blink Stalkers versus Mutalisks. Once your production gets camped, you can't really add to that count all that well. 32 mutas now on the field, and now these Blink Stalkers will die. The main is going to get absolutely ravaged right here by Scarlett. A run by kills yet another base that was attempted to be established in the corner. Those spines are going to be a big problem here. Mothership Core spawns, will die pretty much immediately if she decides to focus it. She is still not losing mutas in a big way. She's going for it right now. She's right on top of those Stalkers.
There's not enough Stalkers. They're all going to go down. 32 mutas against 3 Blink Stalkers. That's a mismatch of epic proportions.
That is it.
And Scarlett has cleaned it up. MC's third base is gone. His natural is gone. And down goes the main. Aces Scarlett in full command of Cloud Kingdom.
Excellent, excellent play. Her Mutalisk retention is just absurd. You are a very unlucky probe right now. He was considering his career choice very carefully. He's got to be a bit quick about it. He will die soon. The Zealots are making their way over, but of course with the spines in position, it will be pretty much impossible. And last I checked, Zealots don't shoot up.
No, sir. MC has not rebuilt his base, and he will not have a chance to do so. He's broke. There's 73 minerals in the bank. Scarlett has bases in the corners, and good game gets called. Excellent play from Scarlett, who goes up 1-0 after Cloud Kingdom.
We'll take them on with Phoenixes. We're going to be going into game 2 right about now, and it's going to be on Blitzkrieg. Let's see if Scarlett can close this out 2-0 to prove once again that you don't really get much better in Zerg versus Protoss than her, or will MC do what he has done time and time again and come back to prove he is still absolutely relevant. Spawning to the northwest position in the red trunks of Zerg, currently up 1 game in this best-of-3 consolation series. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Acer Scarlett!
And Scarlett's opponents. The blue Protoss player spawning in the top right-hand corner of Blitzkrieg. Let's hear it for SKMC! You know, John, this feels nostalgic to me. We just saw Scarlett taking a map on Cloud Kingdom, and now we're on Blitzkrieg, which, in my mind, looks a lot like Daybreak.
It actually kind of does. The setup certainly does look a little bit like that. You do have both of your players kind of spawning at the top there, and you've got the gold base set up as well. It does have this kind of close-by air aspect to it, which I find quite interesting. And if I recall correctly, this was the map where we saw MC pull out the Disco Toss style.
Okay.
Going for that big Oracle play.
Well, that would be very cool to see it once more. Scarlett is again going spawning pool before hatchery. She leads 1-0 in this best-of-3. A win here means that she has clinched 3rd place.
That's
the
his first
Battlegrounds.
Yeah. And I mean, it's considering the lineup a very, very good finish. She's obviously going to be disappointed to not go to the finals, and her caliber of play was certainly at the level it needed to be to get there, but it wasn't quite enough. And it's kind of the story we've often seen, unfortunately, where you just see the sort of the experience of the top-tier player allow him that slow and inevitable comeback, and more cracks appear in the play of the opponent there. And that's pretty much what happened in the entire series.
Yes, sir. Right now, we're asking the question, will MC's Dark Shrine make another appearance?
Well, a lot of people say when behind, go Dark Shrine. MC says, when I damn well feel like it, Dark Shrine.
I like to say every time, go Dark Shrine.
You're the reason ladders are misery.
Looks like Scarlett is thinking for, at least now, to take a very quick 3rd base. MC, of course, with his own early expansion, unable to block that 3rd from Scarlett. John, I think it's interesting. Through the years, we can agree that the best Protoss players in the world have been guys like MC, guys like Rain, guys like SOS. The best Terran players in the world, guys like Bomber,
Yep.
or MVP. But our Zerg champions have been foreign players. Players like Stefano, and now players like Scarlett, showing some of the best ZVP that I think we have ever seen.
Yeah, that is very true. We do seem to see prevalence of Zerg success within foreign players. As to what that could be attributed to, I really don't know. That's not something I personally can explain.
Nor can I.
There are certainly some theories. The way that Zerg is often played, I suppose, is reliant on economic mechanics more often than not. Perhaps that is something that is, I wouldn't say easier to develop, but just a talent that is more readily found. It's difficult to say. We may see, certainly in 2014, a prevalence of either Terran or Protoss dominance in the foreign scene, because Naniwa is just looking at Twitter right now and saying, what's the meanest thing that I could say to Mr. Bitter about that?
Hashtag don't tell Naniwa, guys.
Too late, sorry, I know he's watching.
Looks like MC wants to march across the map right now with a couple of gateway units. And Scarlett is making a handful of Zerglings in response already. She's got 2 queens out. 3rd queen is on the way. Should have no issues repelling this aggression. 12 lings on the way.
All right. Good number, certainly. Doesn't want to take any chances. Stargate will be the follow-up here for our Protoss player, which is to be expected. You know, this is a nasty little push, especially if you get it in a good position. Those two Zealots can really acquit themselves very, very well against the Zerglings, and they're able to get a good position preventing the surround here. The Militia Corps comes to back it up with a second Stalker, and suddenly you can kind of see why she built so many Lings, because that's harder to kill than it looks.
And Time Warp means there will be no recall, so these Stalkers could be in for a bumpy ride. However, with Zergling speed nowhere near completion and creep not even beginning to be spread, these Stalkers can micro to great effect. MC's got to be so careful. MC, you got to be so careful! One Stalker does get surrounded, but will sneak away.
MC does not know the meaning of careful. He is a highly aggressive player. He is confident in his ability there. He really is extending heavily with these three Stalkers, but he believes he can get the best value out of them without losing them. He may very well be right. And the longer this fight goes on, the better it's going to be for him. He does not get the Queen. Great control here by Scarlett. And now it turns out he may have got a little bit cocky.
One Stalker does go down before Scarlett repels and instantly begins producing 7 drones at one time. Lair already on the way for our Zerg player. Scarlett's been playing Zergling, Hydra, and Temuta all tournament long against Protoss, and not even SOS seemed to have a great answer.
No, I mean, if it gets later in the game, and if the Hydra count is kind of still there and being utilized, then...
Oh, no!
Oh, nice grab. Very, very nice. And that's actually uncharacteristic of MC to let a mistake like that happen.
But so characteristic of Scarlett to be thorough and to catch it. MC even looking away from the Oracle, which is even more surprising. That Hydra will go down immediately. This Queen is probably going to fall.
Yeah, it certainly is, but that like burns so much energy that could have been used to slaughter that drone line, so it's not necessarily the ideal thing. And Drone's kind of moving back, realizing, oh yeah, I guess that thing's out of energy for the time being. We don't have to worry too much.
Scarlett knows with certainty that Stargate units are coming. Has seen the Oracle, has seen the Void Ray, and is continuing to drone very hard. Classic Zerg think has been the real counter to Stargate play is just lots and lots of drones.
Yeah, drones and hatcheries, pretty much. Yeah, I believe that was the Mondragon chart, if I recall correctly.
Well, Mondragon liked to counter Stargate with roaches.
Mondragon liked to counter everything.
Mondi, one of the most legendary non-Korean Brood War Zergs, had a brief appearance in the StarCraft 2 scene, but
he certainly did. Team Liquid Star League, if I recall correctly, is possibly his best performance.
Yeah, certainly the one that everyone remembers. Played a really cool ZVP on Crevasse, where he made roaches in response to Void Rays and won with it.
Yes, which shouldn't happen, but there you go. Well, we're having a fairly sort of quiet time in this game at the moment, while the Spire is on its way and while the Void Ray count is starting to climb. The ground upgrades are something that's very much been skipped by MC. He's only just started his +1 over 10 minutes into the game. Muscular augments on the way out, so the Hydra style will continue to happen. And as we've seen before, the Hydra versus Skytoss thing kind of works in windows, where you have a certain number versus a certain number, and then, but if there's too many Void Rays, then it just doesn't work.
Scarlett just hatched 8 Overlords at once, which means we should be seeing a big swell of units. It's going to be Mutas first. 5 Mutas on the way with a minimal amount of Hydralisks out to repel the Stargate play. Scarlett perhaps wanting to just trick MC into thinking that the Hydra attack is coming.
That's certainly a possibility. I wonder what she can do with that. She's going up to 8 there. And she can do a lot with 8 Mutalisks, potentially. The problem with the Void Ray heavy style, alongside other things, is that it gets out in the middle of the map. It takes ages to really get where it needs to go. So, you know, you can certainly...
Oh, MC knows. He's seen it. He's sensed it. Cancels the robotics bay and immediately starts his Phoenix production again. And, you know, we were just talking about Naniwa. Naniwa famously said, if I was a Mutalisk, I'd like to meet a Void Ray. Looks like Scarlett's Mutas may do just that. First encroachment into MC's base. We'll pick up a couple of probe kills, but how much damage can Scarlett really deal here?
Not a huge amount, not with that kind of count. Scarlett gets really scary when she's sitting on like 20-plus Mutalisks, and then we see that micro come into play where the Mutalisks just don't die because they're sort of taking shots for each other. The Mutalisks are basically the biggest bros in StarCraft 2.
Well, there's a definite commitment to Mutas here from Scarlett. The question on everyone's mind is how prepared will MC be this time? Will he handle it better than he did on Cloud Kingdom?
I don't think there's even a question about that. I'd say to the other guys, well, you know, do you see the 2 Stargates coming down? He clearly is prepared, but that doesn't... Oh, that's a nasty place to be, certainly. And MC's Phoenix control, fantastic, drives the Mutalisks away. And he's already proved up to this point that he can deal with this better, and he knows that the possibility of mass muta must be countered with Anion Pulse Crystals. He can't take any risks.
Look at the mini-map. Scarlett is expanding everywhere. Creep spread past the center line. There is a 4th, 5th, and 6th base building right now. Scarlett is taking over. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 gases at the Zerg's disposal, and immediately begins that Corruptor production in response to these Phoenixes. John, Muta Corruptor has long been considered a strong army composition and a good answer to these Phoenixes, but Scarlett has taken it to the next level here this weekend.
Yeah, we saw against SOS just how effective it can be. What she's doing is she's taking massive map control and massive map awareness with creep spread in a lot of bases. She's keeping the Protoss player back with the threat of the Mutalisks going in and doing critical damage to the economy of the Protoss. And then she's saying, I have an economic lead. I'm just going to beat you in the face over and over and over again with these units. And it doesn't matter how fancy your control is, because Corruptors are still going to damage and kill your units, and they're not going to die too fast to Phoenixes.
Void Rays and Phoenixes are going to give chase to this Mutavault. And with the overcharge, I think Scarlett's going to no, she's going to turn and fight. Can these Mutas trade with the Phoenixes and the Void Rays? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't like that. If she had a few more, maybe, but Void Rays are pretty difficult to kill off. If she had been able to do that, that would have been a fantastic turnaround, but she's got to still keep working at this. This is the thing, that the Protoss is committed on 3 bases right now, and is trying to just build nothing but Phoenixes. Doesn't really have the capability to build anything else. And she's going to keep harassing, trying to make that happen. That was a nice catch. And I'm actually really surprised that MC is not moving his Phoenixes away. He's losing quite a few here. Ling's on the ground, perhaps distracting him, but now he is able to try and drive these away once again. The Corruptor's taking fire here. This is not working out as well, certainly, for Scarlett as it did against SOS, I've got to say.
Yeah, costly exchange there for Scarlett. Many of the Mutas, nearly all of the Mutas going to go down. She's left with just 13 Corruptors out on the map. One thing I will say, though, Total Biscuit, with the gas income that Scarlett has, she's mining 13, nearly 1,400 gas per minute. She can reproduce Mutas at a rate that MC just cannot match. She's got
very nice.
Nearly triple his gas income, and MC's done nothing to slow it down.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about that. And as RBC points out there, MC doesn't know, and what MC does not know can certainly hurt him here. I love the way that the Corruptors just blasted their way through that with a +1 armor upgrade versus unupgraded Void Ray, saying, oh, sorry, I heard Void Ray was a counter. It's not. The Corruptors are sitting on top of the Stargates.
And here come the Zerglings. Zealots do finally show up to push Scarlett back, but she is knocking at the natural. And what can MC do about it? God, 7 Mutas at a time here for Scarlett. It's unbelievable what you can do with 12 gas.
This is silly. It looks like one of my ladder games where the Zerg just takes every other base and I sit there crying on Reddit about it. This is just brilliant play here from Scarlett, I've got to say. And this approach is absolutely working here. She did take some bad trades, but she has so many more bases than she ever did in the game against SOS. It doesn't matter.
Scarlett controls nearly every base on the map. MC has his main, his natural, and his 3rd, but his 4th and 5th, they're covered in creep. Every other base is occupied by hatcheries, and he just has no way to answer for the obscene production of Scarlett. The surround.
Just a massacre from Scarlett, who is evidently pretty annoyed at losing that series against SOS and wants to prove, oh, I barely lost against the world champion. You are no threat whatsoever. Let me show you just how bad this mismatch is.
The Queen of Blades is on another level as the Mutas and the Corruptors make their way up into the main base. Phoenix is being microed to great effect, but the numbers just do not add up. This pylon's going to get focused down. That means no more Stargate production. And Scarlett on the verge of a 3rd place finish here at the Red Bull Battlegrounds in New York City.
Dominant performance here against MC as Scarlett just hammers it down. The Phoenixes, they do nothing, and they just die one after another as the Corruptors refuse to go down. She is sitting on top of the Stargates, killing everything she can. The Zealots are on the way over to try and do damage, but that's going to just force the Phoenixes. No, it's not going to happen. GG. A 2-0 sweep here for Scarlett. She takes 3rd place in a series that was not even close as far as I'm concerned. What a